Good afternoon to everyone. This is Kundana. I'm going to continue water technology topic, and today's class I'm going to take about boiler troubles. So let's enter into our session. In the previous classes, we discussed about what is hardness, how many types of hardness are there, how to measure hardness, how to determine hardness. Next, we discussed about municipal water treatment, nothing but potable water treatment. Later, we discussed about reverse osmosis process, which is used for desalination of brackish water. And in today's class, we are going to discuss about boiler troubles. So it is also very important topic in the exam point of view and for a layman to know what are the problems faced when a hot water is taken to the container. That topic is known as your boiler trouble. Okay, let's enter into the topic. Before going to enter into boiler troubles, let me explain you what do you mean by a boiler. So generally we know that boilers and layers means nothing but it is nothing but your hen. Okay, so the hen which lays eggs is known as layer, and the hen which is used for chicken purpose is known as your boiler. But this boiler is entirely different. So this boiler means nothing but it is a big container or a big vessel which is used to boil the water, in larger amount such that this water will releases the vapors, and these vapors will touches the turbines that are present at the top, and these turbines undergo rotation to generate electricity. So why we are using these boilers? So what is the necessity of using the boilers? So generally we know that industries require more amount of electricity, but the consumption is very high for the industries. The industries people think to generate the electricity by themselves. So at that moment they went into a thought known as boiler. So that means converting your vapor energy into electrical energy. So just like that of tidal energy to electrical energy, here what is happening here, water gets heated to its boiling temperature, and from the water vapor gets liberated, and that vapors will touches the turbines that are present at the top, and due to turbine rotation we are going to generate the electricity. So that energy is also used to run the machines in the industries. But while heating the water in the boiler, they are facing the problem which are known as boiler troubles. So what is the necessity of using these boilers means to generate more amount of electrical energy. They are using the boilers. Okay, next. So here troubles. That means, what do you mean by this means, while heating water in the boiler, they are facing problem. They are facing the problem that are known as boiler troubles. So what do you mean by a boiler means? It is a big vessel used to boil water. So when water is boiled, so we are going to generate the electricity. Next, why we are using these boilers means to generate electricity that is required for the industries apart from the electricity that is given by the electrical department. Next, While boiling the water, the boiler is facing the problem that are known as your boiler troubles, which is our topic. What are the boiler troubles we have? First one, carry over. Second one, caustic embrittlement. Caustic embrittlement. Caustic embrittlement. Third one, boiler corrosion. Boiler corrosion. Next one, scale and sludge. Scale and sludge. So these are your boiler troubles. Okay, let's go into each and every trouble in detail. First one, carry over. Carry over. So what do you mean by this carry over? When water is boiled in the boiler, then what is happening here means, when water is boiling in the boiler, it is generating the vapors. Okay. But along these vapors, we are going to observe water droplets also. Water droplets also. And we are going to observe foam formation also. On the foam formation also here. While water is boiling, foam formation also. This is known as carryover. So what do you mean by this carryover means? The process of carrying water droplets and foam along with the steam is known as carryover. This carryover is of two types. One is priming, other one is foaming. What do you mean by priming? If water is giving water vapor and this vapor is carrying out only water droplets. So, when vapor is carrying out water droplets, then it is known as priming. The process of carrying out water droplets along with the steam is known as priming. Then what do you mean by foaming? The process of carrying out foam along with the steam is known as foaming process. That means during priming, water droplets are coming out along with the vapor. During foaming, you are going to observe the foam formation along with the vapor. Okay. But what is the problem with this priming and foam? So just now discussed that carryover is a boiler trouble. That means how this priming and foaming is making a problem to the boiler trouble, that we are going to discuss now. What is the problem with priming and foaming? So generally we know that whenever a person asked you to fill a glass of juice, that person give a soft drink bottle to you and asked the person to fill in your glass. Then can you fill the glass at a time? No, it is highly impossible. Why means we don't know the exact level of water of your juice present in your glass. That means it is because of the foam formation. So the same problem is here also. So during this foaming process, the exact level of water can't be determined. Exact level of water can't be determined. Okay. And coming to the priming. We know that boilers are made up of metals. Maximum we are using iron only for boiling. But whenever the water droplets are coming out along with the vapor, due to that the boiler undergoes corrosion. Okay. So what is the problem of your priming and foaming means? So it is undergoing corrosion. So due to priming it is undergoing corrosion, and due to foaming We don't know the exact level of water with which we are continuously supplying the heat to the boiler, and at certain stage we are going to observe the explosion of the boiler. So that is the problem. Okay. So it leads to explosion also. And why this water is getting this carryover? That is your next point. Why it is getting your carryover problem? It is because of the suspended impurities. Suspended impurities. That means either it may be plant waste or animal waste or anything else which are floating on the water. That is your suspended impurities. And the next one is your oil droplets. Oil droplets and irregular velocity in heating. Irregular velocity. Irregular velocity in heating. So this is the reasons. Okay. So why this boiler trouble is getting the carryover problem is due to the presence of impurities, oil droplets, irregular velocity in heating. Now, how to overcome the carryover problem? That means preventive measures. What are the preventive measures? How to control this carryover problem is, suppose if there is no suspended impurities, automatically there is no getting of this carryover problem. So we need to take soft and filtered water for boiling. Filtered water for boiling. Okay. Next one, we need to use mechanical purifiers. Mechanical purifiers for boiling. If we use mechanical purifiers for boiling, automatically we can remove the oil droplets. That is your second preventive measure. And third one, we need to go with the blow down process. We need to go with the blow down process. What do you mean by this? Means we need to check the exact level of water that is present in the boiler at regular intervals. That means for every 1 hour or for every 2 hours, we need to check what is the level of water in the boiler. This is known as your blow down process. If you go with all these preventive measures, we can control the carryover problem. Okay. First, carryover means, what is the definition? The process of carrying out water droplets along with the steam is known as your priming, and the process of carrying out foam along with the steam is known as foaming process. And why this is happening means, it is because of the presence of impurities, oil droplets, and due to irregular heating. And what is the problem of this carryover means? So it leads to corrosion and it leads to explosion of the boiler, as we don't know the exact level of water. Next, how to control this carryover problem is by using mechanical purifiers and by blow down process. If we use the soft water for boiling purpose, then also we can control the carryover problem. So this is your first boiler trouble. Next, move on to the second one. Next one, caustic embrittlement. Second problem, caustic embrittlement. Caustic embrittlement. What do you mean by this caustic embrittlement? So the name itself is indicating what is the problem faced by here. Caustic means nothing but your caustic soda. Caustic soda. That means Na2CO3. Na2CO3. So that means when Na2CO3 is present in your boiler feed water, it is getting the brittleness to your boiler, which is known as caustic embrittlement. Okay, I am repeating the problem here, problem definition. So, due to the presence of caustic soda, it leads to breakage of boiler, known as caustic embrittlement. This is the definition. Okay. Now, how this caustic soda is entering into your water? That is your next one. So generally we know that We can make hard water into soft water. We discussed in the last class by using ion exchange method, zeolite method, lime soda method. So we have these three different types of treatments to convert hard water into soft water. Suppose if we take soft water obtained from, if we take the soft water obtained from lime soda, then what is happening here? When soft water is obtained from the lime soda method, then water consists of your sodium hydroxide. So your water consists of your Na2CO3. Water consists of Na2CO3. Okay. So then what is happening here? This Na2CO3 is undergoing hydrolysis to liberate caustic soda, that is NaOH plus CO2. Okay, so this is your caustic soda, NaOH. So from the sodium carbonate, you are going to get your caustic soda here. So how it is happening means, when a soft water which is done by lime soda method is taken into the boiler, then this sodium carbonate will be present in the water. This sodium carbonate undergoes hydrolysis to liberate caustic soda and carbon dioxide. That means your caustic soda is entering into the water through sodium carbonate from lime soda method. Now what is happening here? So let us take your boiler here. This is your boiler. So we have taken the soft water, lime soda treated soft water here. We have taken lime soda treated soft water. Then what is happening here means, so when we are boiling the water, we are going to observe this boiler will contain some crevices on the walls. That means some ups and downs will be there. Some ups and downs will be there. Here, at that position, what is happening here? Here, the sodium hydroxide gets accumulated more. More concentration of sodium hydroxide will be there, and on the walls of the boiler, less sodium hydroxide will be there. So because of that reason, what is happening here? This too leads to concentration cell formation. It leads to concentration cell formation. That means sodium hydroxide at higher concentration will act as anode. Sodium hydroxide at lower concentration will act as cathode. Water will act as electrolyte. Okay, so here NaOH at joints, and NaOH at walls of boiler. Okay, so concentration of NaOH here, concentration of NaOH. So concentration of NaOH at joints and NaOH at walls, concentration of NaOH. Here it is, what is forming here? It leads to a cell formation. Generally, we know that anode part of the metal will undergo oxidation. And it leads to corrosion, which causes breakage of boiler. This is how your caustic soda is responsible for brittleness of your boiler. Okay, so from the name we are getting the total complete information. So Caustic embrittlement. Caustic means caustic soda. Brittleness means breakage. So your caustic soda is breaking the boiler. Why this caustic soda is breaking the boiler means due to concentration cell formation. How the concentration cell formation means based on the concentration of sodium hydroxide at the joints and at the walls of the boiler. Okay. So definition and how the thing is happening. Your concentration cell representation and what is the thing happened when this sodium hydroxide gets accumulated. So completed. Now, how to control this caustic embrittlement. So if your boiler is having the ups and downs, then only there is a formation of concentration cell formation. Suppose if entire wall of the boiler is uniform, then there is no accumulation, right? So by using tannin, lignin for closing the ups and downs of boiler. That means it is acting as a sealing agent. So by using tannin and lignin, if we make the uniform surface of the boiler, then there won't be any accumulation. If there is no accumulation, there is no concentration cell formation. No concentration cell means no caustic embrittlement problem also. This is your first preventive measure. And by treating the water with sodium sulfite. By treating the water with sodium sulfite, also we can remove your caustic embrittlement problem. Okay, and it can also be removed by using your Na2SO3. Okay, that means so we can use your disodium hydrogen sulfide or sodium dihydrogen sulfide or trisodium sulfite. So trisodium phosphate. Sorry. So by using phosphates also we can remove. Phosphates and sulfates also we can control this one. Na3PO4 or NaH2PO4 or Na2HPO4. By using trisodium phosphates, sodium dihydrogen phosphates or disodium hydrogen phosphates also we can remove this caustic embrittlement problem based on the media pH value. Whether it is acidic nature, basic nature or alkaline nature, we can prevent this problem. So these are the few techniques to control the caustic embrittlement problem. Okay. So next, what is the disadvantage means it causes breakage of your boiler. What is the reason means it is because of the accumulation. How to control means by using the sealing agents, by treating with your sodium sulfate and by treating with your trisodium phosphates, phosphates of sodium also we can control. This is your second problem, that is caustic embrittlement. Move on to the third problem. The third one, boiler corrosion. Boiler corrosion. What do you mean by corrosion? We know that corrosion means nothing but the process of decay of metal. The process of decay of metal due to environmental attack. Due to environmental attack is known as corrosion. The process of decay of metal due to environmental attack is known as corrosion. So this is the definition we know from the previous classes. Okay, but here which is undergoing corrosion? Your boiler is undergoing corrosion. So here the process of decay of boiler due to environmental attack is known as boiler corrosion. How to overcome this problem? So what is the reason for this problem that we are going to discuss now? So what are the reasons means first one is your dissolved oxygen. Dissolved oxygen is the first one. Dissolved carbon dioxide. Second one. Third one, presence of your acids. First one, dissolved oxygen. How your dissolved oxygen is responsible. So that means how your water is containing the oxygen. That is first important point we should know. We know that aquatic animals are able to survive in the water. That means water is consisting of some amount of oxygen. What is the amount of oxygen present in the water? Very, very important for objective question. 1 liter of water contains 8 milligrams of oxygen. 1 liter of water contains 8 milligrams of oxygen. Okay. So due to the presence of oxygen, what is happening here means we know that boilers are made up of iron, right? So this iron is combining with oxygen in the presence of water, and it leads to rust. First it forms ferric to ferrous. Okay, that means presence of oxygen in the water causes corrosion of the metal. So which leads to breakage of the boiler. Okay, so corrosion mainly is caused due to your dissolved oxygen by formation of your rust. Now, how to control this boiler corrosion, this dissolved oxygen present in the water? By treating with hydrazine. By using mechanical purifiers. By treating the water with a polymer, very, very important for objective question, A2amine 8001 RD. By treating the water with sodium sulfate, Na2SO4. By treating the water with sodium sulfate. Okay. So first, boiler corrosion definition. What is the reason? What is next? How to control the dissolved oxygen present in your water? Okay. Next, move on to the dissolved carbon dioxide. We know that hardness is caused due to carbonates, bicarbonates, chlorides, and sulfates. Right. So when these bicarbonates undergo dissociation, then it will liberate your carbonates. That is your carbon dioxide will be removed. This carbon dioxide is undergoing hydrolysis to form carbonic acid. This carbonic acid is nothing but the acidic media. So due to this acidic media, metal undergo corrosion. So this is your next one. So presence of carbon dioxide also causes your boiler corrosion. How means? So this carbon dioxide is converted into carbonic acid. In acidic media, generally metal will undergo corrosion, due to which we are going to face the boiler corrosion problem. Next, control. How to control this carbon dioxide? When it is treated with ammonium chloride, then it will be converted into ammonium carbonate, with which we can remove carbonates present in the water. So with which we can stop the formation of your carbonic acid. Okay, when water is treated with ammonium chloride, your carbon dioxide gets converted into ammonium carbonates. Okay, so this is one controlling method. And apart from that, if you use your soft water, then also we can control this problem. Okay, so this is your dissolved carbon dioxide. Next one is your acids. So how your acids are entering into the boiler? We don't take acidic water into your boiler, right? Then how your acids are entering into the water means, so mainly your permanent hardness causing salts undergo hydrolysis. That means when it's reacted with water, then you are going to observe your acid formation. Okay, so calcium sulfates, calcium chlorides undergoes hydrolysis to form your acids here. You are going to observe the acid formation. So acid formation takes place. And this acidic media is mainly responsible for a metal to undergo corrosion. Okay, this is how your boiler water is getting your acids. Now, if acids are present, metal will undergo corrosion. Next, how to control? How to control these acids? So it can be controlled by using your ammonium phosphates, sodium phosphate salts, by using your sodium phosphate salts. Just now we have discussed it already, and by blow down process. This is your third boiler trouble. Okay. So what do you mean by boiler corrosion? What are the reasons? Means dissolved oxygen, dissolved carbon dioxide and acids. And what is the problem faced by each and every reason? How to control that one? Okay, these controlling methods are very, very important for your objective questions, and even the formula of rust is also important for your 1 mark question. Now move on to the next one, that is your scale and sludge. The last problem, scale and sludge. Very, very important. Scale and sludge. So what do you mean by this? This is our general problem which we are going to observe in our daily life. So generally your mama will boil the water in a container. Nowadays we are using the geyser, so there is no problem of there won't be any problem of boiling water. But whenever there is any power cut, generally we used to boil the water in a container. At that moment we can experience this one. So what do you mean by this? Means suppose if you boil the water for 1 day, you are going to observe at the bottom of the water, you are going to observe a white smoothie precipitate. Okay, very smooth in nature and white in nature. That is known as your sludge. Now, if you use the same container for a few days or few months, you are going to observe a white layer formation on the walls of your boiler. That is known as your scale. Okay, so how can we define the scale and sludge? Means scale. Hard sticky substance. Hard sticky substance formed on the walls of the boiler. Formed on the walls of the boiler is known as scale. Now, what do you mean by sludge? A slimy, loosey precipitate. A slimy, loosey precipitate. Precipitate formed at bottom of container. Formed at bottom of container is known as sludge. Okay, so scale means hard sticky substance formed on the walls of the boiler. Sludge means slimy loosey precipitate formed on the bottom of the container. If you observe the figure, scale means which is formed on the walls of the boiler. This is your scale. This is scale, and this is your water. And coming to the sludge, it is formed at the bottom of the container. This is your sludge. Okay. Now, reasons. What are the reasons for scale and sludge formation? Mainly your permanent hardness causing salt. Permanent hardness causing salt. Permanent hardness causing salts. And undissolved salts. Undissolved salts. This may be your carbonates. Okay, these are the reasons for your both for your scale and sludge formation. Okay, one is permanent hardness causing salts, and the second one is undissolved carbonate salts are also responsible for your scale and sludge formation. Now, what is the problem faced by this one? What are the problems? So generally, if the boiler is very clean and there won't be any layer formation inside, then it will take less time for boil. So it will consume less time. But if it is having the layer now, then what will happen? It will take more heat for boiling the water. So that means efficiency decreases. Efficiency decreases. More heat for boiling, more heat and more time. Even they will take more time also. More time and heat for boiling. So that means efficiency is decreasing. Next one. Because of the slimy precipitate formation, it leads to blockage of your pipes. Blockage of pipes. Blockage of pipes will takes place. Okay. So, and the next one, it leads to, sometimes it leads to explosion of boiler also. So because of hard sticky substance, explosion of boiler also takes place. So these are the problems. So it will take more time and heat for consumption for boiling purpose, so that efficiency is getting decreased, and it leads to blockage of your pipes, and sometimes it may lead to the explosion of your boiler. Now, how to control? How to control? Generally, we know in kitchens, along with the scrubbers, we are using wire brush. So by using wire brush, we can remove scale. Next, by treating with acid. By treating with acid. By giving electric shock. By giving electric shock. By taking soft water. By taking soft water for boiling. Taking soft water for boiling. Okay. By treating with acid, electric shocks, and by cleaning at regular intervals. At regular intervals. So these are the controlling methods to prevent scale and sludge formation. Okay. So just we have a recollection. What is our first one? In the last class, we discussed about your potable water treatment and reverse osmosis process. In this class, we are discussed about your boiler troubles. What do you mean by a boiler trouble? What do you mean by a boiler? First, we discussed about what do you mean by a boiler. Why we are using boilers for heating purpose. Along with the heat, what we are going to get. So with that heat generation, what is the problem we are facing? That is known as your boiler trouble. Next, we discussed about your boiler trouble individually. First one, carry over. Second one is your caustic embrittlement. Third one, we discussed about your boiler corrosion. Fourth one, we discussed about your scale and sludge formation. So this is about your boiler troubles. In the next class, we discussed about how to overcome these boiler troubles. Is there any treatment is there to prevent the boiler trouble problem? So that we are going to discuss in the next class. So in the next class, we discussed about internal treatments, external treatments of boiler feed water. In that internal and external treatments, we discussed about your ion exchange method, geolite method, and Colgan method, phosphate method. We are going to discuss in detail. Okay, this is your boiler trouble class. Thank you. Thank you so much. This is Kundana signing off.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.